Alright, good evening everyone. So live na tayo. Hi, Roxy here. Pakilala naman kayo mga co-host ko.
My name is Ye.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jenny.
Good evening, my name is Mai, ang inyong suking host and co-host. Uy, matagal din na
I
hindi
like
natin ginawa
that.
to ba?
Okay.
Suking bouncer pala.
Alright, so good evening everyone. So meron tayong special guest tonight. So isa siya sa mga matagal ko nang kilala. Isa sa mga Australian clients na connected kay Excel Hub. Kumukuha siya ng mga virtual assistants from Excel Hub din. So we would like to interview Frank Spartalis later and makikita nyo rin siya. So nosebleed kami later guys. So kapag nag-collapse kami dito, alam nyo na dahil English tayo ngayon, English only pharmacy. so medyo baka mamaya mag-collapse kami dito. Maubusan kami ng dugo. So ayan, tulungan nyo kami ha. Medyo limited yung baon namin English. Ayan. Sana okay yung audio namin. I know everyone is like experiencing internet issues, no? May mga internet issues tayong lahat. So kapag medyo blurred kami, ayan, or may konting delay, ayan. So lahat na ng internet connection ko na try ko na. So ayan. Kamusta naman kayo? Jenny and Mai?
We're fine. Ako
I'm
medyo
good.
nanlalamig.
Ako'y bagong gising. Alam niyo naman, graveyard shift. Daw
Maulan
maaga
ba?
ako nag-out
Maulan
kanina.
Correct.
Ramdam ko na may internet
so thank you at
issues tayo
sinamahan niyo
ngayon.
ako dahil limited
Yes.
yung ating baon na English. At tulungan niyo ako mamaya. Alright, hindi, joke lang. Ayan, I would like to announce lang sana yung winners natin nung last webinar nung Saturday. So every webinar, meron tayong giveaways na free lifetime access ng Linda course, online course. So, yung mga nag-share ng webinar natin, ayan. Kaya kayo, i-share nyo na yung webinar na to. Kasi yung mga magaganda yung caption na nilalagay sa webinars, binibigyan ko yan ng prize na linda.com na lifetime access. So, I'm just gonna share my screen and let you know kung sino yung winners natin last time. Ayan. So, congratulations kay Michelle Francisco Ramos, Janet Atienza, and Clotilde Amodia. I think student namin yan si Clotilde, si Clodel. So, congratulations. Message nyo lang kami kung paano nyo i-claim yung linda.com online course lifetime access ninyo. Okay? Congratulations. Palakpakan natin sila.
Yay!
Nag-share sila ng mga webinars natin with matching captions pa yan. Ayan. So, very good. So, pa-share guys ng webinar namin ulit ngayon. Okay, so guys, if you have any questions para sa Australian visitor natin, feel free to ask questions, no? So, dapat English yung tanong, ha? Ayan.
Hindi na kami
Huwag yun na kami
mag-translate.
mahirap pa mag-translate.
Oo nga, baka ma-stress pa kaming kaka-translate. So, yon. Congratulations ulit, Michelle Francisco Ramos, Janet Atienza, and Clotilde Amodia. Paki-PM po kami, merong staff na mag-a-assist sa inyo. Alright, so I think we're ready. Let's introduce our guest.
Hey.
Mute.
Alright. Oops, I think Frank is muted. Hold on.
I'm okay. Can you hear me now?
Mhm.
All right. So good evening again, everyone. So we have Frank Spartalis with us. All right. So Frank, can you hear us okay?
Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. How is everybody?
Right. So guys, Frank is the general manager for Contact One-to-One Australia. So I think we met 2 years ago here in Pampanga, right? So Frank will be telling more about itself and Contact One-to-One. So yep, Frank, welcome to Excel Hub's webinar. Thank you for doing this, for having a webinar with us. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me. How is everybody? I hope well.
Great. Yep.
We're fine. Yeah.
This is new for me. It's the first time I've done a webinar like this. And I have apologized that I'm calvo, but what can you do?
This is just the first time.
But I'm calvo. No, I've been calvo for
No,
many years.
You're gonna join us more.
Okay. So what do you want me to do, Roxy?
Yeah, please introduce yourself. Tell us
Okay.
what you're actually doing, and can you introduce Contact 121 as well?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Spartalis. I'm a kangaroo. I was born in Australia, but my parents are from Greece, so English is my second language too. I'm the general manager of Contact 121, which is quite a unique contact center in Australia in that it's 24/7, owned by one man. His name is Martin Bill. We did have a sister call center in Clark Pabanga, but our client was bought out by a multinational company, and they had their own call centers in the Philippines and India, around the world. So they took that activity in-house. That was my first introduction to the Philippines when I went in April 2016. And I fell in love with the Philippines the very second morning I was there. I went for a walk around Makati in Greenbelt, and everybody was so friendly and so nice. Initially, I thought they were teasing this foreigner, but no, of course not. It's a beautiful place. And I've been to the Philippines, I think, at least 20 times since then, in 2016. I had 2 vacations, one in Palawan, El Nido, and a year and a half ago, and that was my last visit to the Philippines, was Boracay. Oh my God, it's beautiful. A little bit about me. So I was born in Australia, in Adelaide, South Australia. I'm an electrical engineer. So I started working when I was 8 years old in my family business. We had a cafe and a restaurant. So we were working 7 days a week for many, many years. Working while I was at high school, at university. I also helped after I got a job. I still haven't been paid by my parents. I'm just saying, that's normal. And what I found is the culture of the Philippines is very, very close to the culture of Greek people. We love our family, we love our parents, and when we have people over to eat, we have lots of food, very similar. The Greeks are Greek Orthodox, not Catholic, but very similar. So I fitted in very easily in the culture with the Philippines. Contact 121 is nearly 20 years old. We have many clients. Defence Housing Australia, whereby we take all the maintenance calls for residents of Defence Housing, which is all around Australia, from 4-star generals down to privates who are stationed anywhere. If there's a problem, electricity is not working, the air conditioner is broken, they call us, we log the call and we dispatch maintenance crew to fix it. We do that on the weekends. We also do emergency housing for them. In Australia, if you are poor, the Australian government will give you cheap housing and cheap rent to live in. It's called subsidised housing trust. And in South Australian governments, there's about 50,000 homes like this. And we have the contract to answer all the maintenance calls for that. So it's 24/7 again. Somebody calls us if there's water leaking through the light fittings, which happens. Our team answers the call and dispatches maintenance crews. We take calls for Toyota Fleet Australia, Pet Barn, Pet Insurance. We have around 30 customers. The call centre we had in Clark Papanga was for Vodafone Australia. We answered calls if the telephone handset was broken, lost or stolen. Our guys there answered the call, and they initially started off just answering a call and transferring it to the right person in Adelaide. I shouldn't be saying this, but I will. The client we had in Adelaide was struggling with a new contract with Vodafone. They were an insurance company, not a contact center company. And they were having up to 65% of calls not answered. And Vodafone was going to take away the contract. We spoke to our client there and we told them we have a solution. and we could do it cheaper and almost as good quality in the Philippines. Initially, they didn't believe us, but they were in so much trouble they were going to lose this multi-million-dollar contract, and they gave us the go-ahead to do this. Martin Bill, the owner, flew to the Philippines, and within 4 business days and a weekend, they had interviewed, selected, trained, set up the technology, and answered calls for Vodafone Australia. And they didn't believe us. They actually called and tried to destroy the contract just to break us, because they didn't think that the Philippines call center was good enough, but they didn't break us. In fact, that was the best call center that they had around the world a number of times. I went to the Philippines in April to see this call center, and I met our team there, around 25, 30 people, and I wish I had them all back in my center here in Adelaide. We have around 70 people working in Adelaide at the moment. But the work ethic of the Filipino team was beautiful. I wish I had them here. In fact, we have 5 Filipinos working for us. 2 are born in Australia. I know more Filipino than they do. It's a shameful. And we have 3 who are studying in Australia and living here too. In our call center, we have people from Nigeria, Brazil, Greece, Italy, India, even Australians, unusual. They're working for us too. So I've been in the call center industry for about 25 years. I wrote for the South Australian government the whole of South Australian government call center strategy, whereby I wanted to bring everything together with one central call center and little offshoots. But they didn't accept my idea, so I moved on. And I've been freelancing for since 1996. So any of you who are just starting, good luck to you.
Yeah.
It's a good way to live, but you need a strong mindset. But it's a good way to go. That's me. Sorry, is that too much, Roxy?
No, we like it. Yeah. Did you mention your favorite food here in Pampanga? I'm not sure.
Oh my God, yes. My favorite food is sizzling sisig. I'll have that over pasta any day. It's with calamansi, and chili, and cold beer. It's just my favorite food. The first thing I eat is sizzling sisig. I even cook for my children here. I have 2 children are upstairs. They're very quiet. They're 20 and 23, 21 and 23. I cook them pork and chicken adobo. They love it.
Mm.
Yeah, I do. I like the Filipino food. So sinigang, bulalu, talapia, bangus. I like all that food. Yes, I do. I
Well,
get
how
fat.
about the balut? Have you tried the balut already?
Or I tried balut. They nearly killed me. We had a training session with our staff, and we went to a resort outside of Clark, and they were staying there for 2 days, and went for dinner. And they said, you have to try this balut, Frank. I said, what do I do to eat it? Just eat it. So I ate it. I didn't die, but there was a hard bit inside, like plastic. And they said, oh, you don't need that. You need vinegar in there. You need beer. And salt after that they told me. So I had it twice. Our client would not eat it. Martin, the boss, he said he ate it before. I don't believe him. I think it's Bula Bula. I don't believe him, but I had some. It tastes like chicken soup, crunchy soup. Yeah. So the food is good.
The viewers are kind of hungry right now. So we have 73 viewers. Frank, FYI, you were nervous earlier.
You were
All
nervous?
right. So, Frank, would you like to share with us what have you been doing since the quarantine? I heard you've been working out with, is it with Martin? So I'm not sure. What have you been doing since the pandemic? Are there any changes with your routines, with your lifestyle? Can you share us like a bit of your experience?
We moved very quickly to get our staff to work from home. This needed a lot of technology uptake. A lot of our staff did not want to go and work at home, but we had no choice. So they worked from home. We had 4 or 5 working in the office. We did everything by Zoom. At that point, we had a new campaign over the Easter weekend. We needed 40 new people. So we did that all by Zoom. So we interviewed these people, we selected them, and the training, we had a ramp. So we did some training with 2 people in the call center, but as if they were remote. So the trainer was in boardroom, and that the 2 people were on Zoom, and they did the training. And what I noticed, they were really focusing on the screen because they had nowhere else to go. So the concentration was really very good. The next day, we did 2 training sessions with 4 people each, 4 in the center and 4 outside using another trainer of ours, and they worked very well. So eventually we got to the stage where we can have 10 or 12 to be trained by Zoom remotely. So most of our staff are working away. Our core center is quite inside, but we manage everything by Zoom and by web chats as well. This week, I brought our staff in 1 day a fortnight, just so they can touch base to see each other. People need people, so we bring them in. Some staff who did not want to go and work from home now do not want to come back to the office. Unfortunately, they have no choice. If they want to work, they have to come in. So we're doing a phased approach to bring them back in to see how we're going. What we found though was that our attendance and our absenteeism dropped, because before on Friday and Monday people were very sick. I don't know why, but now they say they're sick but they can work from home. Is that okay? And the answer is yes, as long as you do your job. So that's how we are now. And our clients initially were really amazed that we did that, but now they work from home as well. So that's the norm almost in Australia. Our unemployment rate was up to 7.5%, but the Australian government was really very generous. They shut us down. No flying anywhere in Australia for a while. You cannot leave your home. Very stringent, even harder than in the Philippines. You cannot leave. So people lost their jobs, and they might lose their home. So the government was very generous and gave them $1,500 a fortnight. I'm not sure how much is that in pesos. Yeah. So the people, what we found though, we need more staff. We couldn't find anybody because they made more money by not working for us. The government was over generous. So at the moment, it's really hard to find staff. In fact, we have a new campaign that started 3 weeks ago. And you familiar with Qantas, the airline, the Australian airline? Yeah. I have 2 pilots working for us. One flying an A320, another one is a Boeing Dreamliner. They make a million times more than I pay them, but they want to do something. To show how bad it is in Australia, they are on leave without pay for 18 months, 16 months now. So it's pretty bad here in Australia. Also, what they found was in the Philippines, the call centers, you could not go to your center, so you had to work from home. But the internet was bad, so not many people could actually do their job, and that created a panic in Australia. So many companies, Telstra, our telecommunications supplier, a bit like Globe, could not have its call center working, so they employed thousands of people all around Australia for the jobs that the Filipinos were doing, because the infrastructure in the Philippines is not working as well. So once you fix that, you'll be fine. But that's an expensive activity to do. That's where we are at the moment. And personally, I exercise every day. I have a little strap of this suspension training, and I've been running. I went for a run this morning, not much, 3.5 kilometers. Martin, the owner, he's a fat man. I didn't say that. He's the big boy. And he goes to the gym every 2 days or so. So the owner, and we've been working really very hard. What? Sorry? What did you say, Roxy? What did you say, Roxy? Didn't hear what you said. Oh, you're muted. Anyway, what we're finding though is we are
Martin
really
is
busy.
watching.
Martin is watching? Is he? Good. Hi, Martin. So what we do find is that we're working more and more than before, but on different things. What we're trying to do is in the organisation to virtualize everything. So we have computers in our centre, but we want to put them in the cloud. So in case we have to evacuate the building, our staff can work anywhere at any time. So we just started that activity. So hopefully within a couple of months, we can work from anywhere in the world. In fact, Martin and his daughter and son-in-law, who work for us as well, have put in for many contracts around the world. And there's a couple that may require a significant amount of activity in the Philippines itself. So that's what we're working on at the moment. We are busy, very busy.
So how about
Sorry, yes?
how about the situation, overall situation of Australia due to the pandemic? Why is Victoria the only state on lockdown? Still on lockdown?
Yeah. It's the only state in a significant lockdown. I think, excuse me, I just want to check something here. So we've had nearly 27,000 cases and just 860 deaths.
Wow.
Yes, not much really. So our infection rate is 0.1% or 0.4%, but the authorities are really very scared and they have very strong lockdown. Melbourne is locked down very significantly. It's almost destroying the economy there. And what we're finding in Adelaide and all around Australia is when they lift, people go out, but they still have to have social distancing. But we don't pay attention to social distancing. It's impossible to do anywhere around the world, I think.
I think,
Yeah, it's difficult.
even here.
Yeah. And you have what, 100 million people, I think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Population?
Yep.
Yeah, our population is 24 million. And the Philippines can fit in Australia physically, I think 20 times. So a really big place.
Yeah.
Not many people. And even then, we can't social distance. In the Philippines, people are still scared.
I think we're hello. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think everybody's scared all around the world. Everybody's scared, but we cannot do, life must go on. So, yeah, social distancing is very difficult to manage.
Very difficult to manage, yeah, in Australia. Anywhere, it's just difficult for us. We don't have, Australians do not wear masks either. For some reason, we won't wear masks much at all. I carry one in my pocket. If I need it, I'll wear it. But I don't wear masks. I don't wear masks in the house. My children ask me to because I'm ugly, but I said no.
We also wear face shield here.
Yes, I know. Is that effective, do you think? The plastic one, yeah?
Yeah, the plastic one.
Like Iron Man.
Hard to breathe.
Is it hard to breathe?
Difficult for those who wear
Yes.
glasses.
Of course. It fogs up.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Roxy, shall I talk a little bit about when I interview? Because I do most of the interviews and what I'm looking for.
No, I'm sorry.
Shall I talk
I didn't
about?
get that.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
shall I talk-
We have the questions for you. Don't worry. We will be asking questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Jenny has a
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just curious since given the crisis we are now in, and you've mentioned earlier that there are a lot of struggling companies in Australia as well. So do you think there are still job opportunities for us, like me, aspiring freelancer, to get an online job from Australian clients or Australian businesses?
Yes, I think so. But if these businesses are not trading, they can't pay you yet. That's the trouble. There are companies who want customers, but the customers aren't allowed to visit them. That's the only thing. You can get a job certainly if you are good at what you do, if you're honest, and you do what you say you will, and
Mm.
and you have a good relationship with your clients. You can get work all the time. Word of mouth is what you're in, and somebody recommends you, you go far.
Mm.
All the jobs I've had. I'm trying to think. Sorry, one interview since I started working. Two interviews since I started working in '96. Well, the rest of the job is they speak to me and say, "Come do something for me." That
Mm.
That's it. If you do a good job, or even three quarters of a good job, and you turn up, you should be all right. But at the moment, um, there are businesses who are looking for staff. They can't find staff. So I'm not sure what sort of businesses there are. Um, so what sort of freelance do you do, Jenny? What can you supply?
Well, at the moment, I'm doing a general virtual assistant task. So I handle the normal admin work, email management, social media content creation, social media
I,
management. Yeah, so I'm also handling a real estate client now. So yeah, so
in Australia?
mostly, um, yes, it is. Yeah,
Oh, good for you.
and a finance
Congratulations.
company. Yep, yep, yep.
Good.
So yeah, so I've been working with them since the last 2 to 3 months. So yeah, so I'm basically just new in freelancing world. So and so far I'm loving it. Yeah.
Are you? Why? Why are you loving it?
Well, aside the fact that I feel more safe working at home, and
Yeah.
then at the same time, so I have more flexibility to learn new skills and handle more clients and get have more understanding on what more about virtual freelancing um, world is. So yeah, so for me, I'm enjoying the stage now, the early stage part where I'm learning,
Yeah.
and yeah, plus the fact that I feel more safe and I don't have to commute to the office. Like
Um,
where
yeah.
I'm living now, I'm 1 hour drive away from Pampanga, I mean Clark. So yeah,
Oh,
it saves
yeah.
me a lot on transportation and fuel consumption and everything, and saves me a lot from traffic.
Yes. Yes. You can spend time with your family.
Yes, definitely.
How did you get that job? How did they find you, or did you find them?
It's actually referral. So since I've worked with uh
Yeah.
previous Australians before, and yeah, so when I just spread the word. So I told them I'm doing freelancing work now. So if you know someone who's interested, to hire someone from the Philippines, or yeah, a freelancer, so
Good.
I'm
Good.
available. So there, that's it.
That's good. That's how I got my
Yeah.
jobs. Same thing.
Mm, yeah.
Just talk. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
basically it. And do a good job.
Mm,
Yes.
yep. It really helps having really good connections, right?
Yeah. It's not who you know, but if they know you, that's the main thing.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Filipino people are the ones I've come across are super clever and super industrious.
Mm,
I think we can go far. Seriously, they're all around the world. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
Oh,
I think we lost Mai.
that's nice.
Mm,
We're having some internet issues here.
yeah.
But I can ask. Yeah. Frank, so we received some questions from the viewers. They're asking, what are you looking for in a virtual assistant or in a remote worker when it comes to skills and attitude?
Okay. I personally am not looking for a virtual, excuse me, an assistant. I'm looking for staff in our call center, but the attitude is exactly the same. I'm looking for somebody who is professional and grown up. I can see in their eyes that they're clever and they have a hunger for work. So the sort of people I want are the ones who can do their job, but also if they have a query or what's going on, they don't guess. I don't like people who guess or tell lies. So if they have a question, if our staff come up to me or our team leaders and say, I'm not sure what to do here, what shall I do? That is the sort of person I want. And if they learn from their learning, they don't ask the same question over and over again, that's the sort of person I want. somebody who's honest, able to do their job. I would hire, and I've hired people who don't have all the experience compared to somebody else, but they have a better attitude. I don't want people who come to work who create more trouble than is necessary. We have staff who started working with us, and they just created trouble. I came back one day from Philippines. I'm in the boardroom, and there's a new people working. I didn't interview them, and they're working on this job. And there's a very tall guy who was complaining. He stood up and complained because the technology wasn't quite right properly, and he wasn't getting the calls that he wanted as immediate as he wanted. It wasn't the technology as he thought it was. It's just that the data wasn't ready by our client. So one day he stood up and yelled out loud and said, "This place is a joke. I don't have the data." So I asked him at that moment to leave. I fired him on the spot. He was good at his job, but he was bad in the business. So I'm looking for somebody who has a good attitude. And not happy, but a clever and good attitude. The technology, the technical part, if you're the same as everybody else, the attitude, every time I will give them a job. And it's not just a positive attitude, but it's a positive attitude with the ability to see problems and not create them, but help solve them, no matter what the job is. And that's the reason I got jobs as well, I was told by people. I wasn't a cleverest person, but I paid attention to what the pain was from my bosses and the company. And I came up with solutions to those pain points. And that's what you can do as remote workers, and whatever it is, actually. Every business, there are problems, and if you come up with a solution, rather than be the problem, you'll go far. That's when you get recommended. So anything.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, sorry.
So do you prefer to hire newbies, or would you like to work with someone who has experience already? And how about your friends who are also business owners? What do you think they prefer?
Experience is always very good, depending on the role. Senior roles, executive roles, team leaders, and managers, experience for sure. It doesn't have to be experience in the exact field, but experience.
Okay.
After a while, you bled. For entry level work, we give jobs to people who never worked before. In high school, single mums who come back from work, long-term unemployed, to give them an assistance. So it depends where it is. Experience for sure. And if you don't have experience, you have to work from the bottom or where it is, but don't stay there long. Stay in your mind, in 6 months I'll be here. And if you don't, go to the next step. There's a reason. Is it you? Is it the company? Is it people around you? Find what it is and change it. If it's the company, go to another company. I do it all the time. But don't stay for 1 or 2 or 3 years at the same level. If you want to, that's fine. If you don't, you need to be hungry and have a plan to work out why you're not moving forward. Find yourself a mentor. So whenever I get new jobs, this is what I do. I meet my boss, I speak to them. Then I speak to the boss's boss and his boss. Introduce myself, and I make an appointment to see them, and I tell them what I do. I ask them what they expect from me. Then they tell me. Then I tell them what I expect from them. This takes courage. And what I expect from them is to help me and to mentor me and to talk frankly and honestly to me if I make mistakes. And once they realize that I'm serious, we become friends, but also I learn. So that's how you also differentiate yourself from other staff as well. Introduce yourself to the boss and the boss's boss and his boss, if you can. Tell them what you're doing. Ask them what they expect from you. And with the immediate boss, tell them what you expect from him. Then you're more of equal level as humans. Maybe not as in equal level as in experience, but as humans, everybody's equal. But some bosses push people down, and some people on the bottom let themselves down. But if you approach the way I do, you have honor for yourself and for the other person, and they'll respect you. If they don't respect you, don't stay if you can. I can't hear anybody. Can you hear me? Oh,
Do you
Yeah, we
guys
can
like that?
hear.
did that make sense?
We really like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry if I'm preaching. That's what I tell my children as well. You have to believe in yourself.
We're Yeah, I think there's another question that we have here. Yeah.
Mhm.
You're muted. Yeah. Wait.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I think Frank already answered the thing. If he can hire someone with a positive attitude but with limited skills, for us newbies, of course we are very limited to experience. But most newbies, I guess, I hope and I understand have this how can I explain it? We are very much into freelancing today. We want to learn more. So yeah, if ever newbies with limited skills will we have the chance to work with Australian client and do basic admin work?
I I can't answer that because I haven't researched it. I'll get back to Roxy about that later, if you don't mind. I can't see why not, but I want to change your attitude a little bit, if I may. So
Yeah, okay.
I can see the newbies here. They're not 5 years old. They're not 6 or 7. They're adults. So you have experience already. You might not have experience in that particular field, but you have experience. So don't think you don't. You have experience
Okay.
talking with people. You have experience about planning. You have experience about life. So don't diminish yourself. If you say to yourself, I don't have experience, it's not true. You have great experience. If you have children and you look after your family, and you help your husband's family and mother as well, you have experience in negotiating and navigating life. You have a lot of experience, more than you think. Maybe not technical experience, but life experience for sure.
Okay.
Wow, that's inspiring.
Frank, do you
true,
have
though.
any
It's true,
friends or
Yes.
Australian friends who are working with Filipinos, like Filipino VAs? Do you have any friends or business owners?
I, I don't have any friends at all. I'm very sad. Nobody wants me. Chocolate. No, I have no friends. I'll give you 10 pesos if you talk to me. That's how sad this is. Yes, I have my best friend's ex. Stay with me. My best friend's ex-brother-in-law's son. Huh.
Okay.
He has a business in the Philippines. I haven't spoken to him for 2 years. In the Philippines, he's working with Filipinos there in an accounting firm. He's doing very well. But there are many people here in Australia who have business in the Philippines. Yeah. Some are not doing so well. And this is the reason why, I think. And if you excuse me for a glass of water, it's not vodka. That's for 9 a.m. I spoke to many business people in the Philippines while I was working there, and there's a problem medium and small businesses have, and I think Filipinos have as well, is that the Australians and the Americans, definitely the Americans, are trying to bring their culture and turn the Filipinos into Americans, and that's not right. And some Filipinos don't want to learn the American or the Australian culture, and that's not right. In between is the bridge. That's why we Contact One-to-One is so good. We understand the culture with the bridge in between. And the Greek culture is almost identical to the Filipino culture. But that's the main problem, I think, is if you want to freelance, learn the Australian culture if you can a bit more. You don't have to talk like us. You don't have to go, hey, how you going, mate? Want to fire, kangaroo? That's how we talk. You don't have to talk that way. But you need to understand our psyche. We are direct people. We ask the question. If you say, we ask the question, we do A, B, or C, and you say, I will do C by 2 days' time, we expect that. Another Filipino sometimes might say, yes, I can do this, sir, but they don't. They don't want to embarrass themselves. And that's not right either. If you want to work for an Australian company, you have to be direct. We're direct. I'm really direct too. I'm really serious about the business. So So if people lie to me, no matter what reason, I get upset. I don't like that at all. If somebody comes to me and says, Frank, I don't know what you're telling me. What do I need to do? I don't understand what this manager's saying. That's fine. That's good. We can work about it because there's an issue and we can work together to move forward. So I think that if you're on a freelance, whichever country, learn the culture if you can. Speak to an Australian, ask them how we think, because we think different from the Americans and to the English, and you Filipinos think different to the Thai. That's how we are. And if you're good at the bridge between your culture and your company and your business culture, you'll go very far. I think so. I'll tell you a trick that I did in university. So I did engineering. So I did electrical and electronic engineering. It hurt my brain. I wasn't the cleverest one there. I was on the bottom almost of the whole class. I just managed each year. And I realized that I had great competition to get a job when I graduated. What could be different about myself, I thought. So we had the University of Adelaide University Engineering Society. So I wanted to be the president of that, to be on my resume. So to get to that, nobody would invite me in at start. So I went in entry level. I was putting drinks in a vending machine. Then the next year I was the editor of the newspaper, and the following year I got voted in as the president. I went for interviews with people who did honours. They got straight distinctions. I got fail. No, I passed. But they saw my resume and they said, "Oh, you're the president, Engineering Society. What did you learn?" And I did things. I organised people. I saw a vision on how to move forward, and they gave me jobs. I got 3 jobs offered at that stage, only because I had value. I had added more than the others did. That's what you need to do. I learned that from my father. All right, I'm talking a bit much, but this is true as well. I tell my staff this too. We had a little shop, a snack bar. We made sandwiches and hamburgers and chips. And we were on the other side of town, not very popular, not many people there. So my father made, in Australia at that time, was really popular, ham, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches. And it was really neat. But my father did, he let the ham hang outside of the sandwich, the bread, and the lettuce hang out as well, and I could see a little bit of tomato. So the customers in their brain thought they were getting more for the same money. It looked better, and it was presented in a way. So they came to us, and they bought extra things. So when I was the president of the Engineering Society, I was lettuce hanging outside the sandwich, if that makes sense to you. That is always how I work. Be lettuce and hanging outside, so you look like you're doing more for the same price. Do something different to, for you can stand out to your peers. That make sense? Is that okay, Roxy?
Yep. All right. I think we have more questions. Thank you
No
for
more
sharing.
questions. I'm only joking. I joke like yes.
Jenny?
Yeah. So I was just curious to know. So coming from a client, how do you usually conduct your online interview? What are your usual expectations from your interviewee? Like, do you expect to be well dressed? How's the background? Do you mind the background noise? Is that a con, or is that really a negative part for the interviewee?
Okay, I'll answer this, but you answer your own question first, if you don't mind. Can you tell me what you think a general manager would expect?
Well, definitely, I would expect the interviewee to be properly presented, well dressed.
Yes.
Well, not
Yes.
really, not totally formal, but at least a decent one.
Yes.
Probably a semi-formal dress. Make sure at least you comb your hair, you know. And then
What do you mean?
yeah.
Yes.
If the hair, of course. Make sure your hair is well done, And then
Yes.
the noise.
Frank?
Make sure.
Hair.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
you're
the
making me
hair.
jealous now. You're making me jealous now, Roxy. Sorry, Jenny.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's okay. It's
No
okay. And
noise.
then make sure there are no background noises as much as possible if you can. I know we cannot avoid those sometimes tricycle or
The
the
Richters.
The roosters, yes, definitely. So especially I'm in the province, so yeah, and the dogs. So yeah, but
Yeah.
then at least control all the situations that you can't, you that are in your
Yes.
hands, to avoid being disrupted during your interview. And yeah, so make a lasting, the best, at least best impressions to your
Yes.
client, to your prospect client.
And there's more.
Did
There's a lot
I did
more.
I answer? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you answered. You answered around 50%. There's more. Can you think of more?
Did she pass the interview?
Well, you
Not
have to
yet.
make sure you
I haven't started yet. Yes. Sorry. Make sure what? What did you say,
well,
Jenny?
make sure you made an research about your client's company, so at
Yes.
least you can
Yes.
ask the proper
Yes.
questions. And then yeah,
Yes.
make sure you are properly equipped as a VA applicant, so at least you know the most important tools that is really needed or required to be the best
Yes.
VA you have in town. So yeah.
Yes. Exactly right. You have to research your clients. You need to know what they do. Maybe even think about what their pain points might be, what they might
Yep.
what they might be struggling. If you don't know, you
Mm,
can ask them. What you can
mm,
do, if you have roosters and chickens and dogs in the background, you can tell them up front and you say, I'm working from home.
yeah. Mm,
My neighbor has some roosters. Don't be alarmed
mm,
or I apologize, but it may come in.
mm.
Tell them up front. They'll appreciate
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Also, you're
Definitely.
doing a really good job. Is the camera
I'm sorry.
is eye level?
Mm,
You're doing a good job. The camera is eye level, not low
mm,
to look up the nose. I have a big
mm,
nose and look like a cave.
mm.
Have it low, so the camera is. I have it on books and a chest
Yep.
set. That is good. You have good lighting. You also need to have some questions of the people you speak to. So I don't like people asking me how much they'll get paid. I don't really mind. But at the initial interview, you don't ask that unless they tell you.
Mm,
But ask them what the work conditions are like, how often you want
mm.
to meet, what
Yep.
sort of software you work on. But you
Yep.
covered it all. And you go to the website. I interviewed. I interviewed a Filipina
Mm,
in Sydney. I'm in Adelaide. So I asked all the questions all the time. Have you been to our website? Yes, I have. What do you think of it? It's a nice website. What did you think about the graphics? She didn't go to the website. She was lying to me. So I asked her more
mm,
questions and even more lies. And then she was looking on the side, reading something on another screen. So within 2 minutes, I stopped the interview. I said, I'm sorry, you're not for us. You're not paying attention. You lied about looking at the website, and I think you're looking at Facebook. I don't know. So you have to give your undivided attention to the owner, to the interviewer, and be on time. Have to
Yep.
be on time.
Definitely.
I have a rule: if somebody is 1 minute late to interviews with me, I have some team leaders who answer the door. They can't come in. I won't even see them, even 1 minute late.
Mm. Yep. Thanks for
Because,
sharing that.
yeah, okay. Sorry, I talk too much.
It's okay. We really
Yeah, we have
appreciate
a
it.
comment. We have a comment from one of our viewers. Frank, can you read this? Can you see this?
I guess he's a
I'm not
good
sure if you
boss.
can.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. I'll give you, thank you. Salamat. I'll give you 20 pesos. Thank you. I don't know. Some people think I'm a good boss. Some think I'm very tough, and I am sometimes. Yeah, funny. My job is to look after the contracts. Because if somebody breaks the rules, our customers never call me and say, great job, Frank. They call to complain. And we have some rules that we cannot break. These are customers' rules. And if our staff break the rules over and over again, we could lose that contract, which means that people don't have a job. And our reason we have a job is the business is to give people a job, to put food on the table, to look after themselves and their family. That is our role. That is how we see him. That's how Martin thinks, the owner. He's a really good bloke. But we want to look after our own staff very much. And if people lie to us and they don't come in to work when they said they should. Monday morning, they say, one person said she can't come in because her hand hurts. She went to the gym on Instagram. People followed her. You don't do that. You just don't. And if she doesn't turn up, it means we can't do the service to our customers, which means our clients get upset with us and we might lose the contract. And a few times we had to work hard to keep a contract for some things our staff did because they didn't follow the rules. And I sack people if I see them breaking the rules straight away. No mobile phones in our centre. A man stood up, I sent him away straight away, because if our clients saw that, they'll take the contract from us. So that's why I'm looking for people with good attitude and can fit with our culture. The person I fired that time was a good salesperson. No, it wasn't sales. It was sales. Good salesperson, but he didn't follow those rules. And at this level that we're at, executive level, we have to make decisions to look after everybody. I don't like doing it, but I do.
All right.
Frank, I have another question. Do you prefer hiring multiple workers with different skills, or would you like to hire someone who has a multiple skill set?
Can you say that again? Multiple skill sets? Can you please repeat
Yeah.
that, Megan? Please.
Would you like hiring multiple workers with different skills, or would you like to hire just one VA or one staff, but he or she has different she or he has multiple skill set?
What we like to do is to have value for money. So one person who can do multiple jobs, if they do it well, 2 or 3 jobs, I'll go that way. We have around 100 staff, so everybody does many things. I clean the kitchen. I do a lot of things, just how we are. So people of multiple skills, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
And don't forget, everybody has massive experience. It's pandemic. One of the jobs most needed in Australia, nurses. No.
Yeah, of course.
No, most jobs, nothing has really changed. It's the same, but businesses are trying to work out how they'll progress once we have the vaccine and move forward. Teaching and looking after the old people are big requirements in Australia at the moment. I read an article 2-3 weeks ago about the jobs most wanted in Australia. I'll look it up and I'll send it to you, Roxy. You can distribute it if you like.
Yep, sure.
I'll do that probably tomorrow after I wake up after my beauty sleep. I need at least 2 weeks.
Okay. Another question from Anne. When in terms work performance, what are the things you see that needs to be improved or changed among Filipino VAs or workers or freelancers?
Okay, I've not worked with Filipino freelancers, but I work with Filipinos. What needs to change is to be more direct with us. As I spoke earlier, to be honest, if you don't know something, I had somebody talking to me, they said, I can do this, are you sure? Yes, yes. And 2 weeks later, nothing happened because he didn't know what was going on. He was trying to bluff his way through. To be more direct and more honest. That's what I think the Filipino should be like, I think. And not make assumptions. I go to training. Oh, sorry, sometimes. Yeah, it's true, yes. I had a boss that really pushed. Sometimes we need that kind of boss who will push you to grow professionally. I had a boss who was really tough. Everybody hated him, but I paid attention. But he expected a lot from us. We're all engineers. So engineers need to be highly accurate and critical thinkers. And he pushed us, and he pushed me, and I used him as a mentor. And if it wasn't for him, I would be less the man, probably more hair, but less than I was now. He gave me a lot of
Frank, how will you describe your I'm actually interested. Are you a lifelong learner? You've been doing this freelancing. Are you still learning new things?
Oh my God, yeah, I learn from my children all the time. We have discussions about everything, and you can never not learn. once you think you know everything, maybe it's time, so you won't get Alzheimer's, to learn something else. We have young staff, and I ask them for their opinion all the time, because I know I make mistakes. And many things, my marriage broke up, and there were things apparently I did that I wasn't even aware of. So I ask questions of my children and my staff and my bosses. Am I doing the right thing? What am I not doing? What can I improve on? And that's when I said, when I meet up with my boss and my boss's boss, what they expect from me and what I expect from them. Always learning, always ask questions, always read.
Right.
I read the news from about 8-9 different articles.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find our Filipino English? I can understand the Filipino English really very well, even with heavy accents. Many Australians cannot. I think because I grew up in a bilingual household, I have an ear for different languages. Many cannot, but everybody here, no problem whatsoever for me.
All
You sound
right.
better
Do you
than
guys?
me.
All right. Ladies, do you have any more questions for Frank? So far, that's the last question from our audience. So, Frank, while waiting for more questions, you mentioned earlier being direct. It is very important. Um, During the pandemic, you mentioned that some of your or most of your staff actually work from home. So,
Yeah.
is it a bit challenging for you to monitor if they're really working, or do you like trust them 100%, or is it easy to trust employees who are working from home? How is it?
Um, you know who you can trust by their performance when they're working with you. Very quickly, I can tell who you can trust and not can trust. Also, very quickly, because I pay attention, is to know where people's limits are. If they work too long, they get tired and make mistakes. Working from home for a call center, it's really easy. We monitor everything, real time. So when they start work, when they go for a pause, how long they've been on the call for, how long their after call work. That sort of monitoring is really very easy for a call center. For other businesses, it's not that easy. So I think people are around 80% efficiency during the day anyway. At home, it should be around the same, but it could be less, could be more. Many businesses have key loggers on their staff computer. So every time you hit the key, they know what you do, and they know when you go to the toilet. That is far too much. I would like to have the ability to employ somebody that I would invite to my home, as an example, so I can trust them. But if they make mistakes, that's human too. I had one client, one client who their staff was working from home, but one of the people was missing. They couldn't work out where she was. As it turned out, she was working from home. She went to lunch and she forgot to come back because she was home, because she was learning how to work from home. Those little things.
But
She was having the lunch, but she went and did the laundry. She forgot she was working. Those sort of things. And that's an honest mistake. Yeah. So I think that if you're working for somebody, working from home, instead of the boss checking up on you, maybe you should do things to let the boss and the business know that you're doing the work properly. Don't tell them every minute of every day. Just say, I'm doing this, and today this is the plan of what I should do, and this is the week plan. You can do that. So if you're freelancing, maybe every Monday you have a quick meeting or even email saying that this is what you're planning to do today. This is what you've done the previous week. This is what you're planning to do this week. These are the issues that impede progress, and have a weekly meeting with them, a structured meeting, so they know that you're doing the work, and they know that you know that they are comfortable. But always ask if you can improve, but don't do anything that's silly. Don't do things too cheaply and too free. Don't get into that trap. If you ask them what else can you do, and they say do this, this, and this, take the dog for a walk, do some laundry, bring my children back from school, don't do it for free. I know somebody who, a Filipino, she's working as a recruitment agency, bringing people for me. I called her and I heard children in the background. I said, her name is Lisa. Where are you, Lisa? Oh, I'm picking up my boss's kids from school. I said, what? Is he paying you? No. I said, why are you doing it? Because he made her scared for lose her job. He's not a good person to work for. She's now left. She was studying to be an English teacher. She's doing that now. So if you find a boss, male or female, or anything in between, who usually like that, don't stay. It's too, it costs too much in your own integrity and your psyche and your spirit, and your family will see it. Don't stay for people like that. Choose who you work for if you can. So that's another
We
long
agree,
answer.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, very informative. Yeah, I think last question here. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a question. How do you choose qualified applicants just basing on their CV? What do you look at first, really, in their CV or resume?
I look at everything in the resume. I read it from top to bottom. I look at the structure. I look at grammatical mistakes, their experience, and what they've done and their wording. So not necessary to put a photograph in there. Sometimes the photograph will put people off. I grew up in Australia. It was very, very racist. So as I said, I'm Greek. So lots of physical fights and abuse because I was a Greek person. Even now, if you put a photograph in, somebody may not like you because I know you're female or you're young or you're old or anything, you're male. I know somebody before me wouldn't employ women younger than her or prettier than her. I don't know. That's what she did. So I don't think you should put a photograph in. So what you should do is be really clear. Just put your name, the address and contact details, a small overview about yourself, and the most recent experience first, going down in chronological order. Not too long. Put in your interests. I'm interested about people's interests. I have a soft spot for people who volunteer. I always ask them why they volunteer. And some of the answers are, have changed my mind, I gave them a job. But put your experience, most recent experience up front, and talk about what you did materially to change the company. Instead of saying something like, I looked after sales, you say something like, I increased sales for the 2017-2018 financial year by 220% by implementing this, and this. Have facts. Executives at my level like facts, and we can work on that. That's basically it, really. Not too much, but not too little. A bit like Goldilocks, just right.
Okay, thank you.
Also, I do this as well. One thing, I give feedback to people who had poor resumes in the interviews. They say they don't get much feedback. Yeah, all the time. Yeah, I'm not shy. And if you don't get a job, ask them for some feedback. Ask them anything wrong, anything you can suggest for my resume. Some people may not answer because they're busy, but some might. Get as much feedback as you can. But just because I tell you something, it might not be the right thing. Not everybody is the right thing. So you have to balance that out.
Do you also consider, Frank, the trainings that the applicant actually attended? What if they have less experience, but there are a lot of trainings and internship, for example? Is that something you think acceptable?
Yeah, sometimes, yes. I like people who have bled. I've worked on a major project. I was the 5th director they employed in 5 months. It was a really bad project. I learnt a lot, but I was bleeding every day. I got home on Friday night. I said, oh, thank God it's the weekend. And I was working 70, 80 hours a week. But I learnt so much. And I got jobs because of that, because I did something magnificent. I didn't have direct experience on that. It was a new job. But I had experience. So if I had somebody who just had training and somebody had a little bit of training but experience in that area, I'll interview both, and depending on the interview, who I'll employ. I won't discount either. You'd be the right person. male or female, old or young. I don't care, as long as they're the right person. So usually I interview everybody who gives me not everybody. I read a resume that makes sense to me. Excuse me, my nose is that much sneeze. Does that make sense? There's not one or the other. So if somebody out there has a lot of experience and somebody else doesn't have a lot of experience, both don't give up. Both go for it. You never know.
Yep. Well, thank you, Frank. Actually, on behalf of freelancers like me and our also viewers, so we really appreciate your time and sharing your advices to us on how can we really be an effective VA and be of help and contribute to the business growth and to our future clients' business. So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing your inputs and advices to us.
You're very welcome.
We really appreciate it.
I'm glad thank you very much for inviting me. And good luck, everybody.
Thank you.
The sun will be shining soon.
Oh yes,
Thank
definitely.
you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Frank, for the encouragement. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Till next time again. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks,
Mike,
Frank.
Bye-bye.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Frank, take care. Stay safe.
Ingat,
Bye.
ingat.
Ingat too.
Bye.
Alright. Thank you guys for watching. Sana meron kayong natutunan. Yes, pwede na tayong magtagalog. No? Ayan, naka-live pa rin po tayo.
Live pa din.
Tahimik.
Pahinga
Makakahinga.
na tayo. Yes. Pinawisan ang kilikili ko sa English. Ayan, guys, ang daming learnings, no? Kung mapapansin ninyo, sobrang dami niyang shinare about, napansin ko more on attitude din yung ine-emphasize niya. No? Napansin niyo ba?
Yes.
Ano yung observation niyo? Napansin ko, importante sa kanila attitude din.
Yep.
Talaga. Hindi lang po skills. Ayun.
Oo.
Ano pa?
Yung eager
eager
mag-aral,
mag-aral.
yung ganyan. Continue improving
Yun, ano ba yung mga
yourself.
takeaways mo?
Yan.
May, ano yung takeaways mo dun sa shinare ni Frank?
Medyo choppy siya most of the time.
Hirap na
Sorry.
internet, no?
Yun nga, more on sa attitude nga. Pero yun nga din kasi talaga napansin ko. If direct ako na ini-interview ng isang client, yung hindi ako dumadaan sa mga Pinoy na mga recruiters, more on sa attitude talaga sila. With parang katulad nito, di ba recently hired ako. So, alam niya na medyo kasi sa bookkeeping yung kailangan niya. Alam niya may experience ako pero hindi ganun ka-extensive. Pero hinar pa rin niya ako kasi siguro mas focus nga siya dun sa attitude saka yung willingness na mag-grow sa company niya. Pero pag yun ang pansin ko pag mga Pinoy na recruiters more on naman sila, more on dun sa experience ang hinahanap nila. Yun nga. Kaya parang mas ako personally mas gusto kong direct ako sa client kahit medyo mas dumudugo yung ilong ko sa interview kasi nga talagang sila English, di ba? Pero mas komportable ako na mag-work direct kaysa dumadaan pa ako sa recruiters.
So, minsan parang impression mo, parang strict siya, pero strict in a good way kasi it's for your own good naman siya. Parang ganun din yung pagkaka-pick up ko sa what do you think, Jen?
Yep, definitely. Actually, ang dami niyang advices na we really picked up today and how to really become not just a really freelancer but how to really be really a productive and a valuable employee, diba? So one thing he really pushed is like what Excel Hub is believing is keep learning, never stop learning, sabi nga niya, diba? So until now, he's learning even from his kids. So it's really important to keep your knowledge abreast with the technologies and whatever happening na kailangan sa work and how you can improve yourself. And also I really like his advices on how how we conduct an online interview properly, how an interviewee will present himself or herself to the business owner or
At least
client.
narinig
So
natin.
yes, definitely. Hindi lang basta lang sa atin na nagbibigay tayo ng advice. Now, it's coming from him, the business owner and the client himself. So, it's really important na talagang you research about the company beforehand and, check whatever, or so you can properly ask on how you can be of help to the company. So, yun talaga na-appreciate nila.
Medyo naging emotional ako, parang gusto ko yung part na sinabi niya, nakaka-touch na may experience man, yung mga iba dyan na may experience man, yung iba man wala, darating din yung time mo. Parang sinabi niya yun
Yep.
na
Yes, oo.
parang, sabi ko nakakatuwa naman, sabi ko that's a
Oo.
good motivation. Everyone na baka mamaya yung iba sumusuko na sa atin, siguro ilang months na naghahanap ng work, siguro yung iba. So, ayun, that was a good encouragement from Frank
Yep.
na narinig natin.
Mhm.
So, nakakatuwa naman. Ayan. Thank you guys for staying online. Watch out, October 10, UK agency naman yung aming guest. So, like what I promised, in the past few weeks, nag-post ako na October wala akong VA class, wala akong Excel class because I would like to guest yung mga clients na to, yung mga agency na I would like to partner with para yung mga graduates natin from 3 or 4 batches, we can endorse them to different agencies. I would like to be able to help them. I'm having echo. Ayan, parang we would like to be able to help them na get jobs from the agency sana. Kaya we're going to guest one Filipino UK, owner ng agency. So meron na siyang na-hire from Excel Hub, nakakatuwa. So nag-message siya, sabi niya, I would like to hire more virtual assistants from Excel Hub kasi ang ganda nung performance and yung qualifications nung student natin sa virtual assistant class. So sabi niya, nag-reach out siya mismo. Sabi niya, parang gusto ko pang mag-hire sa inyo. So send me an email, sino yung mga i-endorse mo. So nakakatuwa. So I would like to focus on that kind of project na lang muna, helping our graduates get their jobs next month, October. So manood lang kayo every Saturday, guys. And tomorrow, I think we also have a session with Sam ulit, mga life learnings natin yan. And next week, we have Ginger Arboleda. So we'll be announcing na lang the event, no? Tapos, October na. Ang bilis, gosh. Ayan. So, again, thank you, ladies. Sinamahan niyo ko na magtanong kay Frank ng mga questions. Madalas ko siyang kausap sa Skype. Bigla tumatawag yan early in the morning. So, thank you. Dinamayan niyo ko today. And thank you for watching, everyone.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank
Ayan.
you.
Thank you, Kai, Jenny, and Lori. Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye. Have a good
Bye.